Welcome once again to another episode of the Random Access Podcast, brought to you by rapodcast.net. This is episode 837, recorded live on May 31st, 2025. And here are your hosts. The man who I think is ready now, Dave Play.
Shit, hang on. Nope. Yes. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. And the man who's just sitting here solving his 7x7 Rubik Cube, Andy Lowe. Hi.
Is the 7x7 fundamentally different than the 3x3?
Every cube that is bigger, heck, even the 2x2, the moves are based off of the 3x3.
Okay.
You basically solve any cube to be a 3x3, and then you solve the 3x3.
Solve any cube to be the 3x3.
Yes. So, 3x3.
So you'd do all the core, you take the 7x7 and divide it up?
Yes. So the 7x7, there's a 5x5 in the center for each side. So you solve that. Then you solve the 5x1 edges to all be the same. And at that point, you have one corner piece, the 5 edge pieces, and then another corner piece. That's your 3x3 edge. And then the 5x5 in the center becomes one centerpiece, if that makes sense.
I mean, you're trying to describe this to someone who has aphantasia. So, without a visual reference, this is not helpful.
Well, yeah, it's basically you take everything and you turn it into a 3x3. The 2x2 is actually a 3x3, just missing all of the center pieces.
Yeah. No, I figured that much out.
Yes. So a 4x4, right? There is, instead of 9 on a side, there is 16 on a side, right?
Yeah.
You still have the 4 corners.
Okay.
And instead of 1 square in the middle, the 4 squares in the middle, you solve those, and then you treat those 4 in the middle as 1.
4 squares in the middle. Hang on.
Yeah, just draw a 16x16 grid, or not a 16x16
4x4 grid.
Yes, draw a 4x4 grid.
Okay. That's the center. Then you got the 4 corners, and you have the 1x2s.
Yes.
That are the other pieces.
Yes. You treat those 1x2s as the middle pieces on the edge.
Okay.
And there you now have a 3x3 cube.
Yeah, sort of.
But
yes, because you lock them in.
Yes, you lock them in. Once you get them in the right spot, you treat those 2 pieces as one, and then you have a 3x3 cube, just, with more pieces. So yeah, the 7x7 is you just spend most of the time getting yourself to a 3x3 cube.
And then after that, it's just easy.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've got the 7x7 here. I've got a whole bunch of them downstairs. Normally during work meetings, that's what I'm fidgeting with.
Nice.
Is the cubes.
I'm fidgeting. I have my own puzzles at work that I fidget with. I should probably review them. Those would make a good random review. They're these Japanese puzzles of there's a secret catch that you have to figure out, and one of them is an invisible maze.
Oh, stuff like that. And there's the blacksmith puzzles that you always get at Greenfield Village and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. But they're Zelda themed.
Ooh, nice.
I'll bring them to Manistee.
Okay. If you want, I could bring a larger cube. Probably not my 7x7.
Nope. I'm good.
Okay.
I do not know how to do a Rubik's Cube. I don't need to know how to do a Rubik's Cube. Pretty sure my life will never depend on being able to solve a Rubik's Cube.
What was I watching? It was a Mr. Beast video, 100 guys versus 100 girls. And one of the challenges they had was they had 100 Rubik's Cubes on the table.
Yeah.
And for some reason, there was one guy out of the 100 or how many ever were left who hadn't been eliminated. There was one guy who knew how to solve the Rubik's Cubes. So he was just going to town. Mr. Beast walks in, looks at him. He's like, "Oh, you're the only one?" And the guy looks at him. He's like, "Yeah." Mr. Beast goes, "I will give you $20,000 right now to just
stop solving.
Just stop solving and walk away." The guy looked at him and he's like, "Done." Because he's looking at this table of 100 Rubik's Cubes that he has to do by himself. And he's like, "You know what? I'll just take the 20 grand right now and go."
But what was the ultimate prize?
Oh,
what did he walk away from?
The ultimate prize was whichever team won, whichever team had the most people left, they all split. I think it was like some pool of $50,000 or $100,000, one of the two.
Okay, then yeah, he's probably better off just to take the 20 grand and walk away.
Yes, no, he had a chance of winning a larger amount, but a guaranteed $20,000 right there to just leave.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this is what I do when I'm working the elections, because then I can just
Rubik's cubes.
Yeah, I can just set the Rubik's cube down at whatever point and just go back to whatever I'm doing, and then if there's another lull, I just pick it back up again.
Oh, that reminds me, I need to look that up real quick so I don't forget. Color changing puzzle.
Well,
okay, that's the CMYK. So I saw a puzzle. But the pieces are all effectively textured so that if you rotate the piece, the color changes.
There's a Rubik's Cube like that, actually. I think Jamie had it, where the Rubik's Cube, the color, it's one of those things where it looks like a different color from a different angle. Mm-hmm. So you have to look at it right to make sure that all the pieces are actually right.
Yep.
And then you also have to rotate the pieces in the center so they're all the correct orientation. It's kind of like those Rubik's
that's
Cubes.
So mean.
Yeah, it's kind of like those Rubik's Cubes that are pictures on each side that you can get from Shutterfly and other places like that.
Yep. That's really mean.
The one that I've got that's kind of annoying is one where all the squares are heat activated.
So as you touch them, they change?
Well, as you touch them, it goes from black to whatever color they actually are. So you
have to touch them to know how you're doing.
Yes, I spend a minute just going to the cube going, just trying to breathe hot air onto it, holding it under my armpit, just trying to get it to warm up so I can see what's going on. But speaking of colors, Dave, red or green? Green, all right. Karuba and elderflower.
Ooh.
What the heck is Karuba? Curuba.
Spell it.
Curuba. Banana passion fruit?
Also known as banana passion fruit. It is a member of the passion flower family.
All right. Well, we're going to see what this is. No, yeah, definitely floral. I don't know what this flavor is.
Banana passion fruit, apparently.
Well, yeah, banana passion fruit and elderflower.
Yep.
But I get definitely floral hints, and I get some I think it feels I don't know, some sort of citrus flavor, but this is a brand new flavor. Huh. This is an interesting one. All right. Well, we'll see if it grows on me. What was the other one what's next week's choice? Next week's choice. Oh,
hey, no spoilers. No spoilers.
All right. Well, how was your week, Dave?
How was my week? It wasn't bad. It was not bad. My sister-in-law came into town, at very last minute notice, Wednesday night, sent a text saying, hey, I'm driving through Madison. Can I see you guys or crash at your place? And we're like, yeah, absolutely. Of course. So that was fun. She was here last night to this morning. The rest of my week was work, moving heavy objects, work, moving other heavy objects, work.
Are you rolling boulders up a hill or something, or?
My friend is redoing his basement. They are finishing their basement. There are certain things that have been in their basement since before they moved in, and they wanted them gone so that they could finish their basement. These were things like workbenches and a chest freezer. This house was built in the 60s. The stairs would not be up to code today. Mm-hmm. They are narrow and steep. So moving large, heavy things up a narrow, steep stairway is not easy.
Yeah, nope, that was my grandparents' house up in Traverse City, when my parents sold the house, that was right when we had the offer on the house here. So we actually drove up there, got a big box truck, and basically just loaded up all the furniture from the house because the new purchasers didn't care about the furniture. So we're like, well, shoot, we just bought a house. We'll take the furniture. Mm-hmm. And in the basement was a giant chest freezer. Thing was 6.5, 7 feet tall.
Damn.
Yeah, it was
7 feet tall?
Yes, it was
So you could stand in it.
Pretty much. This thing was big. And we're like, well, shoot, some, don't want to, give that up. So we basically take it all apart. We take the door off the thing just because, this is how big it is. And we take it over to the staircase, and we have to take the railing off the staircase in order to get this thing to fit. And we get it to there, and we're already about to lift it up there, and we try and lift it up the stairs, and it hits the ceiling. And we're like, how did they even get this thing down here?
Yeah.
This must have been brought down here, and they must have redone the basement. And now
and redone the stairs?
Yes, they must have redone the stairs at some point, because now this chest freezer no longer goes up the stairs.
Yeah.
So then we had to put it all back together again and left it with the house. We're like,
oh no.
It's a chest freezer that worked. So, here, chest freezer for you guys works fine. Just don't try moving it. I don't even know how would you even get that thing out of it? I don't know. But yeah, no, when I put the treadmill in the basement, both Kate and I it was a pain in the butt to get that thing down there. And we're like, okay, that thing is staying with the house.
Yeah.
If we move, that treadmill is staying there, because they had to take that down in pieces and build it in the basement because it was not going to fit otherwise. So if I have to move that treadmill, it will literally have to be disassembled back to
component parts
in order to be lifted out of the basement. Nope, that treadmill is staying with the house. Nope. So yes,
this heavy equipment was heavy.
Yes.
Some of these workbenches, I think, were the same thing, where they must have built it there.
Yes.
In place. They were a pain in the ass to get out. We did get them out, though.
Did it involve reciprocating saws?
It did not.
Oh,
it
okay.
involved shoulder harnesses.
Ah, yep.
This is another thing I get to add to my list of things to review.
Yeah, the lifting straps.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was really good.
Yeah, no, you watch the guys when they deliver the appliances. You can just pick up that refrigerator and just walk with it, and you're like, oh.
We did watch them do that, and then we had to move the refrigerator later, and we're like, we're just going to buy our own. So I have a set that I can use now. And you know what? Fantastic purchase.
Yep.
Do not regret. What about you? How was your week?
Well, there was work, and then parent-teacher conference for Megan, last one, because on Friday was also Megan's preschool graduation. So they had...
Congrats.
Yeah, they had all the little kids in her class in the cap and gowns, and they played Pomp and Circumstance. And
oh my God. What, guys, why? We did not do that, right? When we finished kindergarten, we finished kindergarten.
No, it wasn't kindergarten.
Preschool.
Preschool.
This isn't even kindergarten. This is preschool.
Yeah. No. Well, with the first kid, with Isaac, it was kind of emotional. But yeah, no, both Kate and I watched this one with the second kid, and Kate's like, you know what? I didn't cry as much this time, and I'm like, yeah, no, neither did I.
All right, then.
So I feel like, for the first kid, it's like, yeah, no, then, and Megan.
Well, that's sad to be the second kid.
Oh, yeah.
Or the third.
Or the fourth.
Or the fourth.
Hey, Mom.
It's been really fun watching my friends who have 3 kids now and comparing how they treated the first one when they were an infant versus how they treat the third one as an infant.
Yep.
And I'm like, yep, that's the third kid. Yep.
No, heck,
first one, okay, has everyone washed their hands? Yep. Okay, good. Here's the baby. You got to make sure you hold it like this. Yep. Okay, good. Third one, it's like, hey, come take this kid.
Yep. Well, it was even that with between Isaac and Megan. It's like, okay, that we were very concerned about a lot of things. And then after, Isaac passed through that all, Megan shows up and we're just like, oh yeah, no, all right, whatever.
Yep. I mean, my parents would have often told me that, like, for my brother and sister, when they're crying, they like took them and held them and tried to do stuff with them and walked around. If I was crying, they just put me in the crib and said, like, he'll be fine.
Kate always said that when she was there, if she was crying, they would just put her in the playpen with the dog. Because I think the dog was a puppy at the time. So, like...
Yep.
Yep. Like, yeah, no, that tracks.
That checks. Yep. I take it... I hope this isn't too personal a question. Like, you guys are done it too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, we have 2 amazing children. I don't want to... we are done.
Don't want to roll the dice again?
No. We have a boy, we have a girl. Both of them are amazing. They're smart. Megan said
Healthy.
She wanted to be a scientist when she grows up. So,
Aww.
Yeah.
My nephew said he wants to be a YouTuber.
Oh,
and a janitor. And a therapist. All at once.
Some of one of Isaac's friends through preschool and kindergarten and such. His mom is a teacher at one of the schools here. And so, during one of his birthday parties, we were talking about, like, wanting to be, what everybody is doing and everything else like that. And she talks about now how, when she asks the kids what they want to be growing up, the amount of social influencers keeps on going up every year.
I want to be an influencer.
Yes, I want to be on, I want to be a TikTok star. And it's just like, do you? Do you really?
I mean, in the same way that a bunch of our generation wanted to be like movie stars and TV stars.
No, that's true. Yeah, no, I, for the longest time, wanted to be on TV or radio.
Right.
And then I talked to the people in the industry, and then it's like, that was a dumb idea.
And if you talk to the people who do YouTube, a lot of them are going to tell you, yeah, no, don't do this.
Yep.
Now, in part, they're going to say that because they don't want competition. But also, it's a really hard life.
Yes. Yeah, hearing Mr. Beast do interviews about, like, his life outside. He's like, I do all these YouTube videos, and then I basically just go into a crash mode for, like, 2 to 3 weeks. He's like, because I'm just running so hard that it's just, I burn myself out every month or so. And it takes me almost a couple of weeks to recover. And I'm just like, oh.
Like, that doesn't sound fun.
That doesn't sound healthy.
Having millions of dollars sounds fun,
yes,
but
no, I agree on that point. But driving yourself into basically a pit of despair every month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Pass.
Yeah. No, that's why I went from in front of the camera to behind the camera. And lo and behold, as soon as I went to the technical side of things, people are like, when can you start?
We need that.
It's like, oh, you're going for your associates? Don't you already have a bachelor's? I'm like, yes, but it's an associates for, electrical engineering and computer science. They're like, but we need you now. Can we hire you now? Don't worry about finishing your associates. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. No, I'll start. Didn't even get that third interview. The second interview was like, the guy before you has moved on, so we need you
yesterday.
Yeah.
So you had preschool graduation.
Yeah, preschool graduation on Friday.
Utterly ridiculous, but okay.
Well, this is also like it's preschool graduation, and then Isaac's last week of school is next week, which is not even a full week. He has a half day on Friday.
Okay.
And at that point, the two of them will then be together until Isaac leaves elementary school.
Yes.
Because Isaac is going back with her to the daycare for summer. Because the daycare has a summer program for school-age kids. And then in the fall, Megan starts kindergarten at the elementary school.
Yep.
So the two of them are now going to be in the same, building for the next 3 years, 3.5 years, almost 4 years, probably.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, this is going to be this, you always have those chapters of life. This is
entering the next chapter.
Yeah, this is definitely entering the next chapter. It's like, okay, now we have two school agers.
Yep.
We'll see how this works. Oh, and my work is now moving me over to 410s.
Ooh.
Yep.
Which day do you get off?
Friday.
Okay.
Because we're getting a new guy coming down from the UP because his wife said that she will no longer do another winter up in the
UP. Yeah, that's funny. It's funny that she thinks going down to the West Coast is going to be any better.
Well, oh, no, believe me. It's... Having heard the stories of the UP, and
it's worse up there.
Oh my goodness! I
know it starts snowing way earlier, like September.
There was a take your kid to work day for my work.
Yeah.
So we went up to the main headquarters up in Lansing, and they kind of did like, hey, this is this group here, this is this group here, and one of them was kind of like, what is what's our radio network? What do we do? Like, how does this all work? Mm-hmm. So he had the little two-way radio, and he was connecting to the tower over in Lansing, and he had set up a talk group, and the other guy in the talk group was up at Copper Harbor in the UP. So he was at the farthest northern point in Michigan.
Yeah.
And he was talking to the kids in Lansing. And it's like, see how cool this is? Like, look, here they brought out a map, and you could actually, see where Lansing is, see where Copper Harbor is, and like you're talking to this person, and like they
way far away.
Yep, just using this little handheld radio. This is what our network does.
Sure.
The guy was up there at Copper Harbor, and he was standing on our 8-foot fence because the snow
was higher.
Yes, this was in March or April.
Yep.
So yes, when When you are literally standing on an 8-foot fence because there's so much snow, and I'm down here in shorts.
Yep.
I get it.
Time to leave.
Yes. So the new guy is coming down, and the new guy is working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we have two others who do the Tuesday through Friday, and we've got one who is Monday through Thursday, and then I do the 5 days a week. So they want to balance me out, so I have a couple more hours on Monday, and not to have like all of us on Friday. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting moved to the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
410s is hard if you like aren't used to it though. Like it's a lot of time per day.
Yes. But there's also, the ability to actually kind of get more done, especially if I have to drive places. Sometimes that extra 2 hours
makes a huge difference.
Yes, because, it'll give me time to actually be somewhere. Rather than go, oh man, it's already, I've only got, 3 hours left in the day. Okay, 5 hours left in the day versus 3 hours left in the day. I can actually get something done versus maybe, an hour drive out there, another hour drive back, maybe getting an hour to work on something. That's, pushing it. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes coming up. Mm-hmm. So we shall see how it goes. But should we do topics?
Sure. Let's talk about topics.
Well, we got some space topics. I'd love to start there.
There was a launch.
Yes.
And a kaboom.
Well, sort of planned kaboom and a not sort of planned kaboom. So Flight 9...
What was the sort of planned kaboom?
Well, Flight 9, the booster was going to be reused.
Okay.
It was a reused booster, and they weren't planning on catching it again. They were basically going to give it a higher angle of attack coming back to try and see if they could actually do this higher return. It would put more stress on the vehicle, but then they wouldn't have to have as much propellant for this return trajectory. So the booster was coming back on a different flight path than what it normally did the last time. And the boost back burn went fine, but the landing burn, something went wrong during the landing burn section of it, and it exploded over the Gulf.
Oh.
Yes. But like I said, they weren't planning on catching the booster this time. This was a reflight booster, and it worked perfectly for the actual launch part of it. all the engines burned fine. The boost back burn worked fine. But yeah, just the different flight profile for the landing just didn't...
went kaboom.
Yes.
But intentionally went kaboom.
Well, not intentionally. They wanted to do a soft landing on the water, but they were experimenting with different...
Okay.
Yes.
They got a lot of data.
Yes. Yeah. So after it broke apart at the beginning of its landing burn. So
yeah, and they made the claim, as they always do, of like, yep, it exploded, but like, man, we learned a lot.
Yes. So that was the booster. The second stage actually got up into orbit without a problem, but something happened. The ship started to tumble.
Oh no.
Which was the result of a leak in the ship's fuel tank systems, according to the SpaceX spokesperson.
Oh, no.
So the leak in the fuel tank systems, a lot of those tanks are used for attitude control. So they lost attitude control of the Starship. So it basically was just free tumbling in a circle. So they kind of had to scrap all the rest of the...
flamey end down.
Yes.
Pointy end up.
Yes. Not doing cartwheels in the sky.
Oh, that sucks.
So they couldn't do the relight test. They couldn't do the payload door. They tried to open up the payload door, but it couldn't open fully.
Because it was spinning?
Yeah.
I presume there was some centrifugal force.
Something. So they couldn't try the Starlink test launches, and the reentry was completely uncontrolled. So they couldn't test the different heat shields as well.
So there were a lot of things that they wanted to test, and they could not.
Yes. But it definitely went farther than the last two times. So very interested to see what's going to happen next, because Elon has talked about actually already spinning up Block 9 versions. Mm-hmm. Or not Block 9. No, Block 3. Sorry, Block 3 versions, not Block 9. This was Flight 9.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, this was only Block 2, so, yes. Like, Block 9 would be a bit of a jump.
No, this is Flight 9. He's already talking about wanting to fly Block 3 versions of the Starship by the end of the year. And if he's doing a flight every... It's been 3 flights so far this year? Was Flight 7 this year, or was Flight 7 last year?
I think it was in like November or December.
January 16th, 2025. So there's been 7, 8, and 9 so far this year. And we're almost halfway through. So he's got maybe 2 or 3 more flights of these Block 2s before he wants to have Block 3 up and running. So...
But, like, I mean, Block 2 he might just write it off as a, like, we had some fundamental design flaws.
Yes.
Because they do keep exploding.
Yes, they do.
Like, let's be clear on this. Block 2 has exploded every time.
Yes.
Someone's having a bad day at SpaceX.
Yes, they are. Because somebody is not getting this right, and there's a whole lot of other groups that want to get their stuff done.
We're all at this point going like, hey, so we can't do our stuff till you do your stuff.
Yes.
So get your shit right.
Mm-hmm.
I know how that feels. That's literally what's happening at work right now.
Yes. No, there's same thing here as we're adding some new channels. And there's stuff that Motorola has to do, because these are Motorola radios. We're just like, okay, Motorola has to sign off on these things, and other people have to get this other stuff done before I can do my bit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of annoying sometimes, especially when you're waiting for 2 hours for somebody to install an RF combiner before you can just even, plug your system into it. You're just sitting there going like, so how's the weather? Is this guy done yet? No, he's not.
What'd you do with your week?
Yeah. There's not room for more of us to help him out, so it's like, I can't, there's literally not physical room for me to stand there and help him. So it's just like, we just got to sit there and wait for him to do his thing.
Yep.
So But yes, no. So this one, there is going to be an FAA investigation, not for the booster, because that was already an exemption. Because they already said, hey, we're just testing this out for the new flight path for the booster. So we're not. They said FAA said, okay, yes, we understand that you guys were experimenting with that. So there's no investigation on that. There will be an investigation on the second stage.
The fuel.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was not as bad as the previous two because it was uncontrolled reentry, but it was an uncontrolled reentry over the Indian Ocean. So there already was, it was in the right spot. It just didn't land how they wanted it to. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Other space news. It's kind of surprising. Jared Isaacman is out before he was even in.
He was the former private astronaut that Trump had tapped to run NASA.
Yes. He was the private guy who did the SpaceX Polaris Dawn missions.
Okay. And he's not going to be in NASA because...
Well, okay, so he was tapped, and the Commerce Committee approved his nomination by a vote of 19-9 1 month ago. He got to the floor of the Senate with unanimous support from the Republicans in an April vote. So
yep.
Approval was anticipated to be after the Memorial Day holiday, but yeah.
But
turns out he is not Trumpy enough, is what the current thought process is. Especially when the White House spokesperson released in a statement saying it is essential that the next leader of NASA is in complete alignment with President Trump's America First agenda, and a replacement will be announced directly by President Trump soon.
Oh my God. So he failed the loyalty test.
I guess so. I guess because, Musk is on his way out of the Trump inner circle.
Yep.
Literally, I think with a fist fight, if that's what his black eye was from. Could you imagine leaving with a literal black eye?
I don't know who gave him the black eye or the other bruises that were on his face. But how do you see that ending, dude? Trump is a narcissist.
Yeah.
Just like you are. Do you think he's going to let you upstage him continuously?
Mm-hmm.
He's a fucking mob boss. So, okay. So the one guy that, Trump was nominating who actually may have been qualified for the job is being removed from consideration.
Yes.
Didn't even make it into the job.
Nope.
And we have no idea who's getting picked.
Nope, but... anonymous current leaders in the NASA agency basically told Ars Technica, NASA is fucked.
Yeah.
NASA's budget request is just a going out of business mode without Jared there to innovate. Because the Trump's, as we talked about here, Trump is just cutting NASA.
/NASA.
Yeah.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Great. Just been great.
So we'll have to wait and see who the next pick is going to be, but it's probably not going to be great because
I don't want to see who the next one's going to be. I don't like this.
No,
I don't like any of this.
Having this whole political litmus test is just
dumb.
Yes. It's so ironic because they're all, complaining about DEI and everything else of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they are hiring people not for their qualifications.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is their qualifications, just the qualification of, do you support President Trump in all things?
Yeah.
That's the qualification.
Oh, completely ridiculous.
Agreed.
And, we have no control over all the other space agencies, and they seem to keep moving forward because China has now actually done another vertical takeoff and landing test. So now this makes 2 Chinese rocket makers who are able to do vertical liftoff and splashdowns.
It's the splashdown that's the impressive thing, right?
Yes.
Because almost everyone who fires a rocket fires it vertically.
Yes, but being able to ignition, liftoff, full thrust descent, variable thrust adjustment, engine shutdown, free descent, engine reignition, deceleration, and hovering with a soft splashdown. It's all that whole, free descent, engine reignition, deceleration, hovering, and soft splashdown that is the kicker there.
The key.
Yep.
Well, I mean, grats to China.
Yep. So yeah, this is now 2 of them there. This company is planning on, this was just a low-level flight one, but we've seen that with Starhopper and everything else. And,
Yep.
it doesn't take much to go from low-level to, orbit.
Especially when you have the support of the government.
Yes. Yep.
That must be nice. Having the support of the government. That sounds fantastic. I wish we could have that.
Yeah. You know what? Who does have the support of the government? Large corporations, because,
Thanks, Andy. That made my week.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Good joke.
So
large corporations, yes.
Well, large corporations and associations.
What are large corporations getting away with now?
Well, so the CTIA, the NCTA, and U.S. Telecom, all wireless and broadband and internet associations, made a submission to the Justice Department's new anti-competitive regulations task force, which was created to advocate for the elimination of anti-competitive state and federal laws and regulations that undermine free market competition and harm consumers, workers, and businesses.
Sure.
These groups want the Justice Department to sue New York, which is requiring ISPs to offer broadband for $15 or $20 a month.
Saying that they want to let the market decide?
Yes, that the Antitrust Division should work with other components of the Department of Justice to consider bringing affirmative preemption litigation against the harmful state laws already on the books or soon enacted, particularly those that directly regulate broadband rates.
Because we want to be able to charge whatever we want.
Yep.
Since we are virtual monopolies and have put in legislation that makes it harder for other people to start up companies, and no bank is going to provide loans for new people to lay cable, especially in New York City.
Which is kind of funny because the groups previously sued the state of New York themselves and lost in a federal appeals court.
And so now they're trying to get the federal government to step in.
Yes.
Because they got butthurt because they lost.
Yep.
Every part of this just makes me like...
Yep. Just because... Well, they're kind of... They think, this is their reasoning for this, is because they lost at New York. They fear that basically all the other states can look at the New York law, which has already been proven to be successful in litigation.
And copy it.
And then therefore they will have to offer, broadband plans at $15 or $20 a month.
But Andy, that would cut into their profits.
Yes.
And the president needs to be able to live in a mansion. This is such bullshit. This is such bullshit. I hate this.
Yes. So they looks like there are currently proposals in Connecticut, Hawaii, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, and West Virginia
to do similar things.
Yes.
And they're like, we don't like that.
Nope.
And this is the kind of government that would be favorable to such a thing as long as they just, make a contribution to El Presidente. I really hate this. I did use the line earlier today. So, I've used the line, I'm pretty sure here a bunch of, this is the worst timeline. Mm-hmm. I would like to amend that of, this is the worst timeline where we have gotten to this point. Because, I'm sure there are timelines where the Cuban Missile Crisis turned out different.
Ooh.
And I don't know that this is worse than that.
Yeah.
So there's probably a couple timelines out there, Germany made the bomb first. Mm-hmm. That's probably a much worse timeline.
Yes. Yeah. If we got into Germany first and the Russians were able to get all the technicians.
Yep.
Then we flipped the space race on its head. Yep.
Or, Germany won World War II.
That also, yes, would be.
If Germany has the bomb, there was a concern of how they could deliver it to the U.S. But, man, Yep.
Well, I've got one.
But this is a crappy timeline.
I've got one more government thing, and then we can leave the government behind for.
Can we? Do you promise?
Week. Yes.
What's the other government thing?
Well, RFK Jr. released the.
God damn it!
I feel like at some point you're going to rage quit this podcast.
I am so close, Andy. I'm really close. It is our friendship that's keeping me here.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I just can't do this anymore, man.
I know. Oh boy. So they released the Make America Healthy Again Commission report.
Yeah.
Which included broken links, wrong issue numbers, missing or incorrect authors.
So it was AI generated.
At least 7 of the cited sources were entirely fictitious.
Was the source RFK heard this on the bus?
I don't know. The Washington Post found that at least 37 of the 522 citations appeared multiple times throughout the report. And notably, the URL of several references include OAI Cite, a marker that OpenAI applies to responses provided by artificial intelligence models like ChatGPT.
So it was AI generated.
That's what it looks like.
Jesus Christ. What did he do? Turn on deep research and say, like, explain all problems of healthcare, especially this, and this?
I don't know. Which they said, it's just formatting errors and we'll correct it. But
those are not formatting errors.
Yeah. When you're citing possible hallucinations from OpenAI, just nope. So yeah, that's what we got to look forward to as well. Don't even get me started on the fluoride and how much money that's going to cost.
To get rid of?
Well, no, they're getting rid of the fluoride, which is going to cause...
that's what I'm saying.
Health, how much cost for health issues.
Everyone's teeth is going to get worse again. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to be like, why are cavities on the rise? Gee, I wonder.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's the last of the government. Let's just
move away from that. Instagram is going to a new aspect ratio.
Yes, it is no longer you can actually upload photos now that are not square.
I didn't know that you were restricted to square photos on Instagram.
Well, not anymore.
I've never really been on Instagram.
I always did Instagram just because that was the quickest way to get photos on Facebook without having the Facebook app. Because I do not want the Facebook app on my phone.
Because you don't want them listening in?
Yeah. Granted, I've got Instagram on my phone, so who knows?
So they're listening in?
Possibly.
It's the same company, Andy. You think they're putting stuff in one that they're not putting in the other?
I don't know. But it was way easier to post things from Instagram into Facebook than just literally straight from Facebook itself.
Straight to Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I also did it because I could post to Facebook and Twitter at the same time as well. So it was one spot where I could send the photo to 2 separate locations. I no longer post on Twitter, X, or whatever it is.
X.
Twitter. Yeah.
Twitter.
I realized just recently that our closing still talks about our Twitter. So I feel like
Does it?
Yes, it does. So I feel
I
like
love that.
I need
Please
to,
don't change it.
Oh, don't change it? Leave that same outro that we've had for 800 episodes.
20, for 18 years. Why would you change that?
Okay. No, all right. I was going to change it, but I will leave it in there.
Why would you change that? I don't see a reason to.
Because we're referencing contacting us in a way that is no longer available.
Do we not have a Twitter?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't pay attention to Twitter. I don't know.
I'm sure we still have the account.
All right. Where do I go? I go to X, right? Yeah. Is it X? Yeah, it's X.com.
X.com.
All right. Let's see. Search. Oh, there's a season 3 of Squid Games. Oh, my goodness. Yep. We have last posted October 10th, 2020.
What did we post?
I post the episode links.
Okay. And you haven't been posting the episodes? Andy, we have an audience that's sitting there waiting for 5 years. Man, I wonder when RA Podcast's going to post again. I sure hope those guys are all right.
Yeah, October 10th, 2020, episode 653 is the last.
There's 200 episodes.
What I got to do is just post all 200 in like...
Just at once.
At once.
A big block. Yeah.
Get flagged for spam.
Just be like, look, it's not our fault that their site didn't keep up with it. It might be our fault. It's probably our fault.
Yes, but yeah. Okay, so we do have one. I just haven't done anything with it, so...
Yeah. Don't tell me we don't have a Twitter.
No, we do have a Twitter. We just
don't pay attention to it.
Yes.
Because why would we? No one ever talked to us there.
No, that's true.
I mean, you could also question, why do we have an outro? Let's be real here. There are not many people who listen to this.
We've got a dozen, because the YouTube stats tell me normally we get about a dozen plays.
Hello to those of you on YouTube.
Yes.
I still think we need to post our entire backlog.
Probably could. It would just take some time, and I have
time to upload it all.
I have a hard enough time just getting the episode up.
Yep.
So
it's fine. I mean, I show up. That's kind of all I do.
That's where Dave is at now. He's at the I show up level.
Yep. Sorry.
All right. Well, let's see what else we got here. Google,
I don't know, man.
Gmail is going to have AI summaries in your Gmail.
Yeah, that's almost expected at this point.
Yep.
Like, whatever.
They will now appear above English language emails, but only on mobile.
Only on Gmail mobile?
Yes.
Why?
That's where they're starting, I guess.
But it's like, I just barely even go into Gmail on my phone. And when I do, it's limited screen real estate. I don't want an AI thing. I want to see the goddamn email.
I go in every morning just because I want to check what packages and mail are arriving. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
And then I've got a couple of Substacks that I subscribe to that I read, and that's about it.
That's more than I do.
Yeah. No, I
look at it when I see that I need to look at it. That's about it.
What are my current unread emails? 13,875. Oh, 797. There's some spam ones in there. Okay. Well, that's actually not spam. Let me take that out. My spam folder.
You're like, oh, good thing I looked.
Yeah, good thing I looked. That one is not spam. A lot of these, spam. No surprise. All right, what else we got? Surprising info from video game adaptations and the video games.
Sure.
Sensor Tower did a study and found out that, no surprise, when there's a video game, film, or TV adaptation, people play more of the game.
Shocker.
I know. When the Fallout series premiered on Amazon, Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 rose by 125% and 410%, respectively.
Gee, I can't imagine why that might be.
Yes. Fallout Shelter, the mobile game, was increased by 77%.
People still play that?
I guess so.
Piece of shit game. Didn't they get sued for that game?
I don't... What?
We talked about that.
Did they get sued or were they sued somebody else?
I think that it was a direct clone of a different game. Oh, Westworld. Bethesda sued Warner Brothers.
Ah.
Because the Westworld game was a clone of the Fallout game, and they were like, we think you didn't, just copy the game. We think you copied the source code.
Yeah, that's what I...
And the reason they found out was the same bug was in both games.
Oh, boy.
So if you copy someone else's code, make sure you go through and debug it first.
Was it Google or was it Bing, where one of them created a search result for nonsensical words and they showed up in the other search engine?
Google did it and then proved that Bing was copying their searches.
Yes. Yeah. Google came up with a nonsensical word
Google hard-coded something into the search engine and then it showed up on a Bing.
On a Bing search result? Yeah, I remember that. Oh. So yes, it seems people still play Fallout Shelter.
So yeah, good for them. I hope they have a fun time.
Oh, also, as reported by Deadline, Warner Brothers has since confirmed there will be a sequel for Minecraft, a Minecraft movie.
A Minecraft movie.
Yes.
Are they going to name it another Minecraft movie?
I don't know, but
I'd really like them to name it another Minecraft movie.
that would be
It
nice.
is a missed opportunity if they do not name it another Minecraft movie.
Well, it's like they finally, the third Now You See Me movie is finally getting that Now You Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you missed it on the second, but you got it on the third.
Good try. Good try.
Okay, so, name you might...
I wanted to
Oh, you're going with the topic?
yeah, go for it.
Now, what are you going to go?
Well, I was going to point out if you're going to, along with if you're going to copy someone's code, if you're going to shoot a commercial for a product that's not released, you might want to invest in just like a little bit of OPSEC.
Yes.
Just a little. Google was caught shooting the commercials for the Pixel 10 and had all of the stuff up for the Pixel 10, including posters, including the actual device. And someone was just like walking past and saw it and started taking pictures.
So the Pixel 10 was leaked because they didn't cover anything. I mean, for goodness sakes, with like the Marvel movies, anytime the Marvel movies are, in pre-production, they always have like silly names for everything, right?
Yeah, games do it too.
Yeah. It's like, why did you not just...
I'm sure the product has a code name, but like there's a storyboard for the commercial.
Just hanging out there. Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
So yeah, there's the Pixel 10. It's the form factor is done. It looks like it's going to have AI baked into it in a billion places.
Of course. I'll just hold on to my Pixel 6 for as long as possible.
Good luck.
I know I've got, maybe 2 more years left, I think.
Yep.
So,
If you're lucky.
oh boy.
What topic did you want to hit?
Well, I was just going
You
to
were
say
about to say something.
that Jay Allard is a name you might recognize.
It sounds familiar.
He was one of the guys who was basically helped create the Xbox
Okay.
way back when.
Yeah.
He turns out he joined Amazon in September
Uh-huh.
and is now head of the Amazon 01 team.
And what, pray tell, is the Amazon 01 team?
Their hardware research and development unit.
Okay. So like the Echo Dots
Yes.
would be from the 01 lab.
Yes.
Good for him.
So we'll see how this comes out. But having a very... Granted, I was going to say he also was the head of the Zune development. So it's like, okay, yes, he was the head of the Xbox development, which was good. But then he was also head of the Zune development.
Also, let's be clear. The Xbox wasn't great.
The original Xbox, yes. The original Xbox was not the best.
Do you remember the original Xbox controller?
Oh my god, the thing was the size of a dinner plate.
So let's just remember, like, if he's the guy who came up with these, he did the Zune and the original Xbox.
Yes, but he was doing, he was the technology chief of consumer products at Microsoft all the way until 2010. So you get out of the original Xbox at that point, right?
But that's good.
Yes.
He did some good stuff. Yeah. 2010, you had the 360.
Mm-hmm.
When was the PS3 and the Xbox 360? That had to be 2007?
I thought it was 2000 I'm going to say 8, but I swear that's wrong. 2005 was the Xbox
Really?
360.
Okay. Oh, yeah, my timeline is skewed. I got a PlayStation 2 as a graduation gift from high school.
Yeah, I picked up my PS2.
It had been out for some time.
I got my PS2 in 2001 when I was at Best Buy. because I was able to get a $50 discount. And that was the most discount you were ever going to get for a PS2 at the time. I was like, shit, $50 discount.
PS2 downstairs.
Oh, yeah,
that
you
means
do.
I have a PS2, 3, 4, and 5 in this house. And yet, I don't consider myself a Sony fan.
Oh, we just grabbed Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Isn't that cute?
That one is good. And somebody told me that you can't actually die in Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-player game as well.
Nice.
So I feel like this will be a lot better to play than Super Mario Galaxy.
Yes.
Because I feel like
you should also try Yoshi's Woolly Adventure or something like that.
Okay. We'll try this one first. See if Isaac likes Kirby.
Yeah. Do the Kirby one first.
Okay. We'll see how that goes. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Should I go to the randoms then?
Let's hit the randoms.
Okay.
It's your review, sir.
My review, well, as we've talked about, I was a fan of Planet Zoo.
Uh-huh.
And I actually am staring at the icon on my desktop. It was one of the few games I actually have already installed on this new computer. But right below it was one that I had picked up from one of the free giveaways, either an Epic free giveaway or an Amazon free giveaway. I'm not sure which one. But it's called Let's Build a Zoo.
Let's Build a Zoo.
And it is a zoo management sim.
Uh-huh.
It's pixelated, pixel art.
Uh-huh. Sprite art.
And
like all computer art is pixel art.
Yeah, so I was thinking, okay, this is, part of my problem with, Planet Zoo was the fact that I could get dogged down in the design and the realism and all the other stuff with that. It's like, oh, this seems to be hopefully like a less intensive zoo game. Okay, so I start playing it, and it's a less intensive zoo game. Let me tell you, though, the amount of micromanaging you start to have to do is a little much. Even for me. And there's even farther down the tech tree, there's even stuff that's supposed to automate things, but still it's just, there was a lot of times where it's like, I kind of wish they would put some more automation in there where it's like, I don't have to keep managing all my animals so they don't keep multiplying like rabbits, including the rabbits.
Including the rabbits,
yes.
Of course.
It's like, I have rabbits in my zoo. Oh my God, they're multiplying like rabbits. So I'd have to keep going back.
Have you played Dwarf Fortress yet?
No, I have not.
Okay. If you think rabbits are bad, wait until you get cats.
Okay. So I'm starting, I'm doing this zoo simulator, and it's, it's a little bit more whimsical. It's a little bit, for some reason, it starts getting a little tongue in cheek. And then, surprisingly, there was a morality system where
like a hidden morality system.
Yeah, I had a little quest pop up because they give you missions and stuff, and I get one pop up here, and it's like some unsavory gentleman would like to donate some food for your carnivorous animals at your zoo. And it's like, unsavory gentlemen want to give me some unknown meat for my lions and bears. And it's like,
they will never find the body.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it gives me an option. And both of them, it doesn't seem like I get punished either way, which I haven't seen
that
that I know of. Yes, I know. I haven't gotten to the end game yet, but it was one of those things where it kind of surprised me. It's like, well, wait a second. I'm spending money.
I'm sure it's like a branching storyline, and that there are, there are consequences to it, and that, saying yes or no probably opens up new options later on.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where it's like, I didn't expect to have a morality system in this zoo simulator. There was another one where it's like, okay, the kid lost his dog.
I don't know that there is is there a morality system in there, or is this just a quest that has an ethical choice in it?
Well,
the idea of a morality system is that you have a score.
That part I haven't figured out yet. I have to dig in deeper to the game to find out. But
okay. So we don't know if there's a morality system. We just know that it has immoral choices.
Yes, that don't seem to have wrong. Because there was one where the kid lost his dog, and I found the dog. And my two options were to give the kid the dog back and get, a reward. Or I could dress the dog up like a lion and put him in my zoo. And it's like, okay, so I could get a short-term gain. Or I could put this dog in my zoo, and now I have a free lion.
It counts as a lion?
Yes.
What the fuck kind of dog is this?
What
kind of population is this?
That just scratches the surface, because at one point, it seems I'm starting to get into DNA splicing.
There are layers to this game, apparently.
Yeah, no, this game surprised me with what the heck was going on.
Okay.
I mean, DNA splicing.
And I'm here to help.
I don't
sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi there, and we'll have your PC ready for all you plan to do.
I'm sorry.
What?
Use your voice or the keyboard.
I rebooted a laptop and reformatted it, and I just picked it up, and she started talking to me.
Oh boy.
I don't like that.
So, I'm getting cute animals where, bouncing on trampolines and having fun times. And all of a sudden I get a CRISPR basically. So I can combine a chicken and a cow and a chicow into a chicow.
Oh my God, it would have to be so delicious.
I could combine a crocodile and a duck into a crocoduck.
A crocoduck?
Crocoduck. That's what they call it.
Lazy name. Lazy name.
So you can actually take your animals and Frankenstein them together in this game. Did not see that coming.
Jesus Christ, this game. Who developed this? From the fluffy minds of Spring Loaded and No More Robots.
Yes. So what else did... Let's Build a Dungeon is Spring Loaded. Let's Build a Zoo.
Dungeon.
Campaign Clicker. Looks like that's just... They haven't done anything there. But yeah, no, that was... It was surprising. It was unexpected.
Gorst.
What was coming up in this game. So if you want a zoo simulator that's a little twisted, I'm gonna say this is a zoo simulator for you. It was unexpected, things that were popping up in the technology tree and everything else like that was like, oh, didn't know I could CRISPR my animals together to create these monstrosities.
That's not. Wait. Oh no.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting zoo simulator. I picked it up for free right now on Steam. It's only $7. So there are some DLCs as well with dinosaurs, and there's another DLC for
worth the $7.
What?
I asked, is it worth the $7?
I don't know. I'm not gonna play it anymore because I got other things to play. But I was very curious about it, and the kids seem to enjoy the cartoony look of it. And, having elementary and toddlers, mess around with the CRISPR aspect of making freaky animals appealed to them a bit. So, But yeah, will I keep playing it? I don't think so. But it was interesting at the time. So, it's also available out on the Switch as well, and the Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation. So, if I have it in a mobile form, I might be more entertained than sitting at my computer and doing it.
Okay.
But it's just expect the unexpected in this game is what I'm going to say.
Sounds like a fun little time.
Yes. All right. So let's finish this up with the random topic. Where is my random topic list? Here it is. Rolled ahead of time. Does Trump have plot armor?
It sure feels like it.
Yes, it does. For some reason, he can get away with things nobody else can get away with.
All the while degrading the standards that we hold everyone else to.
Yep. It's like he gets to play in the mud, and after a while, you suddenly realize that he enjoys it, and it's just like, no, I don't get it.
Yep.
It's one of those things where it's like talked about how... people, it's like, I don't understand how these, there was voting anomalies with, the amount of people who voted for Trump and not for anything else. And it's like sitting there going like, I saw this firsthand with, the election box. which I know, was disconnected from everything else. It was a standalone box. We had all the paper ballots to back everything up, and I'm looking at the printout receipt, and I'm like, why were there so many people who showed up, voted for Trump, and then left? Literally did not vote for anything else Republican on the ballot. I mean, it would have been faster for them to just circle the Republican bubble at the top. That would have automatically voted for Trump and everybody else below him. But for some reason, they didn't. And I just don't get it. For some reason, his rules, our rules just do not apply to, logic does not apply to him for some reason. And it is just mind-boggling.
And infuriating.
Yes.
Mind-boggling and infuriating.
And it's also people like Musk and Thiel and the Christian nationalists who use him as a useful idiot. Federalist Society, everybody else,
Project 2025.
Yes. Voight, all those guys, he's in the front, he can control the masses, and they're just behind the scenes using him for whatever they need to, which is sometimes hilarious when the two sides kind of go butt heads with each other, because then it's just the chaos inside the Republican Party, because the Republican Party doesn't actually stand for anything. And it's going to be a long 3 years and 8 months. No,
3.5.
3.5 months.
3 3/4. Like, we are a 16th of the way through.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what's great?
What?
We might not even be that far, because at the rate he's going, in 4 years, he might just not leave.
I know people in I've heard Republican congressmen state that they are planning some sort of law or something for him to run for a third term, but even at that point, he will have been the oldest sitting president since him.
Yep. But he just might not leave.
Well, on that dreary note, that's a wrap. This has been another episode of the Random Access Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, corrections, suggestions, remarks, reviews, rebukes, retorts, or just rants, feel free to contact us. You can find us on Twitter at RAPodcast, or send us an email at mail@rapodcast.net. Thank you for listening.